episode of Lion's Den was brought to you by Common Sense. Back in the explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
All right. Well, as always, welcome to the Lion's Den. The conversation continues. We're talking about what's on your mind. I am Brother Malachiah, also known as Baby Hebrew, putting it down for you and yours. And again, as always, despite my having a battle between the spirit and the flesh, I still fight to put my best foot forward, to come in here along with the pride. Because when you roll with the Lion's Den, you're rolling with the pride. I give honor to the Lord in Christ from whom all positive thoughts flow. And for those of you out there, I always want to welcome you to the Lion's Den. Make yourself at home. Wipe your feet. Hit that like button. Hit that subscription button if you're brand new. And if you're family, well, come on in. Wipe your feet. Hit that like button. All right. And I give an honor to the CEO of operations here at the Lion's Den, my man, yo man, everybody man, his name, Jeremiah Yahweh. That's Jeremiah Judah. If you're not Hebrew inclined, Jeremiah Judah 7000. All right. And as always, we give a double honor to the woman of the house who makes sure that everybody conducts himself in an orderly manner when they come through. Sister Karima, the lioness. And again, I thank them both for allowing and normally I'd be joined by the man who keeps it raw, Yeshaya Dar, but he's still here in spirit and in essence, lending the weight of his statesmanship through creativity. But we thank them both for allowing us to be able to come here and lend our statesmanship and eldership to this magnificent channel, platform, debate league, whatever descriptive verb or adjective you want to put in front or back that makes the Lion Den click for you. We thank them for allowing us to come here and entrusting us, and we assure you that for the duration of our time here, we come with the preamble, freedom of speech, but responsible speech. We come here again, always in the spirit of the Heavenly Father. Unapologetically, we stand on the laurels of the Bible. But we're not here to force it on no one. We understand that a lot of you out there who are non-Bible believers, you may be atheists, you may be Buddha, Islamic, that's Muslim, you may be Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, whatever. But still in all, we're able to talk to anyone at any given time. That's what the Lion Den is about, being ambidextrous. And on that note, right, listen, I don't know about any of you, but one thing about the Lion's Den that I like is the variety that JJ 7000 and Karima, as their liberated moderators and have the ability to be diplomatic in their approach, they give a wide range of different voices. Now I make no qualms that I am unapologetically coming from the train of thought of the Bible, from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelations. I struggle to be a moral man, but I don't sit up here as Mr. Super Israelite. I don't sit up here as Mr. super duper righteous. I'm far from that. But still I make the conscious effort to be able to talk to and listen to any and everyone's opinion. Even if I don't accept it, I do respect it because everyone's entitled to their opinions and different outlooks on life. And on that note, right, before I continue going into how spectacular the Lions Den is, I want to know how many of you out there take time out to look and check out some of the other shows and presentations. Like yesterday night, Saturday night, man, there was a magnificent debate. And if you haven't seen it, I'm going to endorse it. It is Takari TKO Dawson versus Ruben King Naga. Magnificent debate. Even if I don't understand some of the depth of the matter and some of the other issues, it now is inspiring me to do my investigations into all the various languages, hieroglyphs, the importance of all aspects of study. Okay? Another one of my personal favorites, although this gentleman was very quirky and offbeat, still, you had Israel Doctrine versus the champ, Apostles of Quan. That's one of my personal favorites, along with another magnificent presentation, and that involved Does Religion Cause Mental Illness? And then also there's another one that I like personally. It's an open discussion that involved Brother JJ7000 and Yasha. Very interesting concept. See, this is what I do. I don't just sit up here and make presentations and be only caught up in my gift that the Lord has given me to present here. No, I check out all the other presentations in here because they are indeed magnificent. And what makes them so magnificent because we all come in the spirit of our forefathers. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Wyatt T. Walker, Ralph Bunche. Some of these names, you don't know who I'm talking about. Well, you're going to learn in the not so distant future because they used to hold powerful debates on very many shows during the 1950s into the 60s before some of them met with assassination or in other ill-fated happenings as they were champions of justice. I come in the spirit of Fannie Lou Hamer, Angela Davis, Assata Shakur, and other sisters who put it down, Shaka Khan and Roberta Flack, who all held it down and put their careers on the line. And of course, how could I forget the one and only, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, who was indeed, in that day and time, the WMD, weapon of mass defiance, who stood as a young 24-year-old young man, world champion, and became the people's champion when he stood and refused to be used by the United States government to have black men and women be drafted into Vietnam, a war that was a money war, a heroin war, a war for rubber and textile, but more so heroin. No, Mr. Ali stood down and said, nah. So we here on the Lions Den, that's the spirit that we come in. We're showing that we hold it down outside the BET. Well, today BET is Booty Entertainment Television. We don't come here with the BET mentality. Now, in the Lions Den, there are those who are rough cut, spicy, rough, rugged, and raw linguistically, but still getting past that. The intellectual acumen is astounding and undeniable because see, the Lions Den, we give you the five eyes, you know what I'm saying? and that is information, inspiration, influence, independence, and insight. This is what we offer here at the Lions Den. And when you roll with the Lions Den, you're rolling with the pride because we are formed and determined, okay, at all times, okay, to roll permanently ready and destroying evil, starting with our own. Now, tonight's presentation over, I'm going to take you on a journey. And when I'm not I, we're going to take you on a journey because, see, I don't roll and do this solo. All right, but first and foremost, I want to make sure, like I said, I battle in the flesh, but my spirit still strives to exalt Proverbs 3, verse 5, which tells us to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not upon our own understanding. I roll in the spirit of St. John 8:32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Okay? Because St. John 4:21, 4:26 said that the Lord is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So we come in the truth. We come wholeheartedly, unapologetically in the truth. That's why tonight's subject is you can get with the truth or you can embrace lies. Taking a spin from an old school rap song made by Black Sheep. The choice is yours. Well, you can get with this or you can get with that. But get with this, the truth. All right? The Lion's Den. We're here to break the back of liars and devils who walk with earthly feet, living on lower levels. No, that's our job. And tonight, we gonna take you on a journey. Now, see, some of you all, now you heard on our last two presentations, you had Kanye West. Everything Kanye West, and it's still a hot topic. But I'm going to take you on another level with this. We're going to take you on another level. Let me stop saying I. We are going to take you on another level tonight. So you're going to get your pens, get your notebooks, your pads, whatever it is that you need. Because here in the Lion's Den, we don't just talk, we prove. In the spirit of 1 Thessalonians 5:21, prove all things. That's our job. Isaiah 41:21. We come here ready to produce our cause. And that's exactly what we gonna do. Produce our cause. Because in the spirit of Ezekiel 3:17, we come as watchmen and watchwomen because we have powerful women in this set too. Don't get it twisted. Karima is the head lioness in charge here. About 3 or 4 women rolling to one. All right. And like I said, welcome to the Lion's Den. Now, this is what I also want y'all to do this, right? Let's say if you don't take time out to go and check out all the other presentations that are here, how about this? A simple thing. Go through each one of the presentations and hit that like button. That's what I do. I'm going to make it my business to watch all these presentations in here. Some of the stuff be so deep that I have to watch it in segments, but the bottom line is I support anything right now that is Lion Den. Why? Because it is very few mediums that are out here. There are other voices, but not as hardcore, not as diplomatic in structure like the Lion's Den. So go through each presentation. Hit that like button. It's free. It don't cost much. Not even, what am I saying? It don't cost, it's free. Okay? See, the thing is, a lot of us out there, like I said, we tend to complain a lot, right? But when you get what you need and what you've been requiring, when the Lord, or if you don't believe in the Lord, let's say the high evolutionary, with the wave of his mighty hand, gives you and furnishes you what you need, black folk, you don't support it like you're supposed to. All we looking for here, like, subscription. Everything else we do is absolutely free. We answer our calling here, okay? Like the Lord said, freely you receive, freely give. And that's what it's all about. Each one teach one. And so, again, tonight's episode, it could be said, it could be said also, you can get with the Lord, you can get with the Lord, or you can roll with the devil, or you can roll with whatever you may call the Lord, okay, out here. But I like to just keep it, make it plain. You can rock with the truth, or you can embrace lies. But some of you out there, and let me be specific. For all you super Israelites out there, and some of you coming into the Lion's Den right now, some of my Lion's Den family, you seem to still have a hard time processing when someone else has a differing opinion. But I'm going to help you. And I'm going to continue to reiterate, I am not for, but I am not against Kanye West. But what I am not going to do is join the dog pile wagon. All right. And I'm going to stand on what is right. No matter what he may have said, no matter what I may have as far as resentments on certain aspects of his personal opinions, which he's entitled to. What I'm not gonna do is lambast that man because someone else is saying so. But a lot of you out there, even here in the Lions Den family, oh, well, what has he did for the black people? What has he done? That's not the issue, y'all. The issue is standing on and being on code like these other people are. Or how about this? Delving deeper into the why certain things were said. Now, in our other two previous presentations, we go into why we took a defensive stand for Kanye. And and I'm gonna tell some of y'all right now, don't believe the hype about he done lost $600 million and now he's down to 400. Don't believe Forbes. Don't believe the hype. The dude is still in the billionaire stat. Don't believe what they're telling you in regards to that. Because if you remember, if any of you recall, we were being told how poor and indigent Michael Jackson was, and that was far from the truth. But anyway, what I want to do, right? You've been hearing me talk about this. I keep saying me. I'm going to work a we. You've heard we here on the Lions Den talk about, and especially these last two episodes. Oh, we all went raw with it on the last presentation. JJ7000, Apostle Zaquan came in, Kareem then came in. Well, y'all gonna be hit. This is where we gonna blow the lid off this whole issue of was Kanye being anti-Semitic. First of all, again, there's no such thing as anti-Semite. It is anti-Shemite. And Shemite is anyone who comes from the Shemitic races that are found in the Bible via Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And being that Kanye, along with myself, Karima, and JT7000, and anyone else of Negro, so-called Negro stock, black stock, are all Shemitic. So you can't, how could Kanye be anti-Shemite when he is Shemitic? We got to kill all these trick bags by going into etymology. But is he anti-Shemitic? What are they really mad about? Well, we're going to show you tonight. Because, see, you've been hearing us talking about on previous episodes. Myself, JTR, Yeshai Da, JG7000, and those who came in and lent their statesmanship or stateswomanship about the fact that, and this is where Kanye's coming from, about the infiltration and destruction of our music and our culture. Now, what I'm gonna do tonight, right? Via this the Lion Den, we're gonna take you on a journey. Now, you've heard this name being mentioned before, but rather than us rely on you to do your homework, when we give you homework assignments and go and check out things after you hear each presentation, no, we're gonna bring it to you. Karima, let me ask you a question. Were you able to are you gonna be able to pull up the videos I want you to pull up that I asked you to pull up? Would you be able to pull them up and put them on the screen tonight or no? Right. She must have stepped away, but let me just continue on. However, stand by. What we're gonna do, right? I'm gonna show you that everything you see today, that everything you seeing dysfunctional is not by accident, but by grand design. That when Kanye West put forth that there are certain people out here making trillions, if not no billions, and going in the trillions of dollars, capitalizing off of our blood, literally blood, sweat, and tears. That there's those who have been culture vultures for centuries since we have been here in this God-forsaken place, America. Our aim tonight is to show you beyond all shadow of doubt that everything we say is not made up in a vacuum. What we're going to also show you is that we're not dealing with conspiracy theory. We're dealing with conspiracy reality. And what is a conspiracy? When a group, when two or more people sit down, stand up, whatever, and plan to do a thing to harm a person or persons. We're going to show you that everything you've seen today, all this dysfunction, all this BET, Booty Entertainment Television, and all the other warped, decadent, debasing, and out of control music, television, print, it's not by accident, but by a grand design. And it's important that you understand that this presentation is going to vindicate not only Kanye, it's going to also vindicate those of us here in the Lion's Den. That some of you out there may have a problem with when we come here and present these truths and evidence to you. And after the night, if you still want to embrace lies, if you still want to be on the fence, if you still want to feel some kind of way, that's because you want to be blind. That means you want to be lied to. You like being lied to, in spite of the fact in the book of Jeremiah 7 and 8, we're told, behold, Trust not in lying words. As one of our Lions Den family forever food, observe everything in this country is a lie. Was founded on a lie. Well, everything in this country is a lie except the Lions Den. Here, we strive to always bring you the truth. And it's not like once we make any commentary that you can't take time out day and night, because at the start and end of every day, it's going to be your responsibility, your spiritual, intellectual, and emotional responsibility to make sure that everything that we present to you here can and is real, the truth. When I speak here, I don't speak by of my own accord. I speak in the spirit of the Heavenly Father. I speak in the spirit that He compels me. Romans 9:1. I see the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bears me witness. And everyone else who comes through here, whatever their system of belief, if they come here and make presentations, we always check it out. Someone's checking it out. Someone makes sure it can be vetted, and they bring their own, and they bring their information and their proofs. And it's up to you to either accept it or not. So as I'm, sitting here, I'm hoping tonight that Karima will be able to bring forth the evidence that I want to go into, because y'all, I'm going to take you, like I said, I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on an odyssey. I'm going to show you that everything that you see happening today was done deliberately. You have heard here on the Lions Den the names J. Edgar Hoover and the Counterintelligence Program, COINTELPRO. You've heard the name George Herbert Walker Bush, former president of these United States and former head of the CIA. You have heard of old 666 himself, former governor of California and former president of these United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan. But most notably, you've heard of J. Edgar Hoover. You have heard of the Counterintelligence Program. Some of you out there have a hard time believing that there are individuals who are dedicated, absolutely dedicated to being agents of chaos, to keep everything and everyone else in a state of derision, poverty, confusion, uneducated, uninformed. All right? You don't want to believe it. But what I'm going to present to you, if everything is open, and when Karima can get this information and give me the green light that it's going to go down, but brace yourself. But in the meantime, I'm going to say, hi, I am Manna. Hi. And you're right, sister. That's right. Show your love. Wipe your feet. Wipe your feet. Show love here in the Lion's Den. I welcome you, I am Manna. Ah, Tyrone McNeese. Yahweh. How you doing? Welcome. This is your man, Baby Sweet Brew. Putting it down for you too, brother. Welcome. All right? Belief and faith and hope is not truth, but the law does stand and could be considered truth. I agree. Thou shalt not murder. True statement. Thou shalt not commit adultery. True statement. Thou shalt not devise evil against thy neighbor when he or she dwelleth securely with thee. Iron manner. That is the truth. That is absolute. These are tangibles. I agree with you. Okay? Sometimes faith and hope can be very subjective. And when you allow your subjective a point of view to block your objective, Iron Man, you're right. It's not the truth. It's what you feel. I agree. Let me see what else is in here. 'Cause I'm not gonna keep y'all here long because I know y'all have to work. Okay? Jeremiah Judah, CEO in the house. That's right. Hit that like button, you all. Hit that subscription button. And if you got family and friends just that's sitting along with you, you tell them to go on their device and hit that like and subscription button. That's right. Lions Den. So, Hazel Eugene Wonder. Hello. Shalom. Alahaya. Yasha Allah. Welcome. Shalom. Okay? Welcome. Come on in, y'all. Make yourselves comfortable. Because again, what we're gonna deal with tonight, you can get with the truth or you can embrace lies. The choice is yours. All right, like I said, what I want to do tonight, I'm gonna take you on a journey with 3 videos. The first one, if everything is gonna be able to work out, I'm gonna show you an ex-FBI agent informant who talks about the infiltration of Black culture. But this was talked about 47 years ago. The next video I'm going to show you is Liar Cohen on The Breakfast Club, explaining why he promotes drug culture in rap music. You see, all this Kanye's anti-Semitic is garbage. See, when you're calling people on their hypocrisy, on their BS, on their bull shenanigans, that's not being anti anything, but they're being liars, hypocrites, and you pulling their skirt. In the spirit of Isaiah 51, Kanye was, cry aloud, spare not, and lift your voice like a trumpet. And that's what we do here on the Lions Den as well. We're not gonna spare nobody feelings. We don't deal in film. We're dealing with straight up explicit facts. But again, I'm gonna take you on a journey. Ex-FBI agent informant talks about the infiltration of Black culture. I'm gonna show you a video, and we're gonna examine Liar Cohen on The Breakfast Club, explaining why he promotes drug culture in rap music. And the last video we're gonna go into is former recording artist, stage name Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony, exposes private prisons that are linked to rap music. If everything should go like I hope it should go. So yeah, Hazel Eugene, the truth does hurt. It hurt those who shroud themselves in lies. But see, the bottom line is, look, this ain't about being cognizant of someone's feelings when they don't care about us. Look, I'm gonna make it plain. I'm not gonna sit up here and coddle anyone who is an enemy to Black progression, to what we need to do as a people, who have, impeded deliberately through rape, robbery, murder, brutality, as it is this very hour, capitalizing off of us. No, I'm not going to sit up here and coddle that and support that. And what I'm not going to do, I don't care who it is. I wouldn't even care if it was Candace Owens. As off as she is, if all of a sudden the media was to start lambasting her because of something that she may say or do, I would still be on code and say, you know what, I won't lambast her for your sake. Especially when these same people were extolling everything that Kanye, Candace, or anybody else who's falling out of favor with them over the years. You was extolling everything to the clouds. But it just seems to me that when those who are out there in the professional limelight, I guess they're not supposed to have a voice because they're being paid a couple of nickels, all right, and money. They're just supposed to just shut up and entertain. They're not supposed to have a voice. I forget the Fox News commentator who felt some kind of way when LeBron James was trying to enter politics or had his voice in politics. And she said, in so many words, LeBron, just shut up and dribble. Basically, shut up, nigga. Entertain us. And this is why you come here to the Lions Den. Because you know, here you ain't dealing with no sellouts. Here you're dealing with those, again, dedicated to bring you the five eyes. And they can be used interchangeably. You get insight, independence, influence, information, all right, and inspiration. Let me define what all those mean in context. Because as always, the two basic rudiments of learning is what? Rhyme and repetition. So when you come to the Lions, then you're going to get the independence. Because see, we don't have anybody breathing down our throats, no sponsors of any kind, telling us what we can and cannot say, or they're going to pull up their stakes and be out and not pay us. Because we do this for free. This is free. All right? We're not making a dime. We're not asking for a dime because we're devoted to our calling here. I've been on other mediums where I could have been making money, but no. I'm true to the spirit of those who came before me, greater men and women who came before me, some of whom lost their lives in defense of what is right and didn't sell out. Okay? And so it is with myself and others who are dedicated. So you get independence. Because we encourage you to think for yourself and examine things for yourself. And we welcome you here, but still we want you to make sure that we are on point. Because sometimes we're human. We are human. And we could be guilty of oversights. There have been times like yours truly has been pulled up on the carpet and reminded. All right? So you get influence. See, we influence you to make the positive changes in your life to make yourself better and bring out your talent and come here because believe it or not, I always but then some of you believe because you can tell when I always come here through the presentations and give some of what you said in previous conversations. See, as this conversation continues, I always go back and reread who wrote what, who said what. And this is what this show is inspired upon tonight. Because there's some of you in here, you still thought y'all kind of missed the point in these last two presentations. It's not about defending Kanye. It's not about questioning what he has done for the Black community. So per se, what we're looking at is this. He's one of our sons. He has made statements today that are true. Never mind what he said yesterday. I'm looking at what he said today, which got him in, that has him in hot water. That we're the real Jews. True statement. He said that there are forces out here. He just said, a matter of fact, he just said a day or two ago that we're battling not against flesh and blood, but we are battling against spiritual principalities in high places. That was Ephesians 2 and 11. True statement. He said, we ain't dealing with no demon or no devil and no spirit. We're dealing with devils right here on the earth, right here, right now in the industry. That's the truth. So that's what we're looking at here. What we're dealing with is we're not going to, again, dogpile on them like a lot of other people did. Some went so, one in particular went so far as to talk about his mother. And that's, you can't, man, that's low. That is really low and disgusting. All right. And timing, as the CEO of operations here, JG 7000, timing is everything, y'all. So that's what we are looking at. That's what I'm defending, y'all. Again, I'm not for the man, I'm not against him. But what I am against is anyone coming for mine. All because now he's calling you on your BS. So I hope that after this presentation tonight, that many of you in here, maybe we can change your minds. But if not, we're gonna give you the reason why. More so, let me see now. Let's see who's talking. Jeremiah Dawid Ben Yokonan. Yes, brother. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, my whole issue is timing of all this phony and fake outrage. Now, let me see. Let me see what's going on. Karima, are you available, hon? Are you still here? Because what I want to do, I want to go into, if you're still available, I want to go into these videos now. And hey, Linus, are you right? Can you get those videos for me or no? If not, I'll just continue to talk about the issues in another form and
What
fashion.
video?
Say again?
What videos?
Oh, okay.
I don't even think I'm able to play it. I couldn't even play the song at the beginning.
Oh, because you know what? I had sent you know how, before I always indicate what we're gonna do tonight. Well, I was hoping that you could have gotten this one particular video from you out of YouTube and bring it and brought it up here on the screen. But if you're not able to, it's not a problem.
Yeah,
Right?
that's reason to play the song.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't play the song, the intro song that I remember. I didn't even play.
Oh, okay. So apparently we're having some technical you know what, we're having technical difficulties.
I started without the song. It wouldn't play.
Oh, that's right. All right, so listen, you all, listen up. I'm gonna still talk about a few issues, but here what I want. Okay, here what I'm gonna have y'all do. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna count to 30. And if not on this presentation, another presentation coming up, but I still want y'all to do your homework. I want y'all to take down these titles and I want you to check them out for yourself later on. If you don't check out all three, I'm just going to give you an overview right now. The first one I would have wanted to go into tonight would be ex-FBI agent informant talks about infiltration of Black culture. This was a segment by late talk show host Gil Noble. Some of you may not know who Gil Noble is, but Gil Noble used to host a show from 1967 going into 1989 before he would get sick and ultimately pass away. Was the show was titled Like It Is. But in and around 1977, going into 1978, and one in 1981, he did a sit down with an ex FBI agent and informant by the name of Darthard Perry. His name is spelled Darthard, and Perry is Perry. The name of this interview again, if you have a pen and paper in front of you, write down ex FBI agent informant talks infiltration of Black culture. And the video that I want you to go to, if you get that, is at 22 minutes and 27 seconds. In this video, Mr. Perry indicates that from the time of that video and that interview was conducted, he indicates that 40 or more years from now, which is now, that Black culture as we know it was going to be changed and warped by the FBI and CIA. He let it be known, the counterintelligence program. He indicates that J. Edgar Hoover and company studied to the root we as a people and what motivates us, what titillates us. He indicates that in order for people to be destroyed, you have to study what makes them tick. He then says that the main areas of attack that the forces and powers of darkness were going to use and come for is first through our music. Why are they going to come? They were going to use our music as a weapon because they know, as he said, that we are a soulful people. They understand that we are moved by emotion and especially through music. Their observation was solidified by the fact that we're the most creative force in the music industry. These are the things. And when Gil Noble asked Mr. Perry, that ex-FBI informant, but wait, you mean they study us? He says, of course. Our movements, our emotions, everything about us. He said, they understand the science of using music as a way and means to manipulate people. He said, so in the years to come, the Black demographic and dynamic of music was going to change drastically. Well, I'm going to say to you all out there, don't you think the mission was accomplished? As I recall as a child, and some of you out there who were blessed despite some of the hardships we may have faced in our life, how many of y'all sitting with your mama, your dad, when they were together, or your grandfather, your grandmother, and various relatives when you would go spend the night with your cousins and them, but they would be listening to music, real music. Donny Hathaway. I'm going to pick my favorite, Donny Hathaway. Out of all the male vocalists in the world, Donny Hathaway has always been my particular favorite. Then along with Barry White, Marvin Gaye, okay, Teddy Pendergrass, and so many others who taught you how Though they had some racy songs, but still they taught you about love, the Temptations, the Four Tops. Okay, the names sound like a gang, but like how such an entertainer said, it sounded like a gang, but nobody won't go. They wasn't gonna get hurt. The Drifters, who sang about who sang beautiful melodic music about love and being impassioned. Aretha Franklin, who spoke about RESPECT, being a natural woman. Okay, my personal female vocalist of all time, Stephanie Mills. What you gonna do with my loving? And the list goes on and on of those who sang and swooned. Nat King Cole, taking it way back. My point, even despite some of their personal hang-ups behind the scene, because they were human, still what they generated to this day moves emotion. Gladys Knight and the Pips, it moved emotion. And also when you look in that time frame, the birth rate, procreation was through the roof. All right, you had white America panicked. Those niggers are making so many babies. But gradually, ladies and gentlemen, some of us who live in the transitory period, you can give an attestation to this. What happened during the 80s, y'all? Wait, let me take it back one more. Back in the 70s, you had even the movie images. Some people talk about black exploitation, but no, even within our movies, we had when you got past some of the pimp and Superfly and all that. But then again, those movies were good too. The images of black men taking charge, kicking whiteys behind, huh? Truck Turner, Shaft, Slaughter, Jim Brown, Slaughter, Jim Kelly, ooh, the original Black Dynamite, Fred Williamson, Black Caesar, okay? Max Julian, Thomas with the late Vanetta McGee. Max Julian, rest in peace as well. Besides just the Mac, he also had Thomasine and Bushrod, Detroit 9000, and other movies that dealt with power and empowerment. Pam Grier. Yeah, okay, she had sex appeal that was off the hook, but I'm just saying, even other movies she starred in that were dramatic, they had rain. It showed us ruling and doing our thing. Richard Roundtree is Shaft. Calvin Lockhart. Some of these people are dead and gone now. So we were doing it, progressing in image, sound. But what happened, y'all? Those of us who lived through that changing point, Soul Train, Don Cornelius, come on, y'all. But what happened in the process of time? Going into the 1980s, y'all. What happened? All of a sudden, the music started changing. This whole decadent and decaying and evil and crass attitude start creeping in slowly but surely. It went from, girl, I love you, I want to be with you, I want to love you for the rest of my life. Oh man, I love you, I want to love you, I want to be your wife, and blah, 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 blah. It started creeping in with the ladies. I'm a woman, I don't need a man, and oh, you got to get on out, pack your bags, you a dog, you got to go. Huh? And on the flip side, fellas, start singing more and more about, I'm a one night stand man. Do me, baby. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Huh? I wanna, but not for long. Come on, am I right? When hip hop, rap as we know it first began, y'all, what happened? It was all about going to school, staying in school, be positive. Don't be a drug dealer. Don't be a criminal. Stay away from crime. Excel. Go for yours. We went for ours. Do what's right. Even if some of the artists may have had personal issues behind the scene, battling, they're being human, but still the message that was put forth. Broken glass, a child is born with no state in mind, so don't push me. You had all this encouraging you. But what happened? What happened? Even Public Enemy, even though I have my issues with Public Enemy, but still, Public Enemy. I've got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. Don't believe the hype. And all these other groups that was talking about staying positive and black to the, you had the Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, the Native Tongues. You had all that going on. Proud to be black, fist in the air. But what happened? Slowly but surely. And then I know that a lot of people point the finger at NWA, but even before there was NWA, you had, some artists here on the East Coast, all right, that was, singing some very, very racy lyric. But I gotta say this here though. I gotta look at the fact that the changing dynamic was indeed NWA with Straight Outta Compton, crazy mofo named Ice Cube. I'm down with the gang with attitude. Got a song, yo. Okay, I can't front the beat, everything, the tempo, but the lyrical content. And then two Live Crew. Okay, going from loving black women to okay, you already know. I ain't gotta. For those of you that go back, you already know when it came to Two Live Crew. All right, I ain't gonna even. Never mind. But do you see that my point I'm trying to raise, and I wish I could have been able to play this video, but if you check it out for yourself, ex-FBI agent informant Darthar Perry, and I know some of you may not want to hear the entire interview, but if you go 22 seconds, 22 minutes, 27 seconds, but as y'all listening to me, do you see why Kanye West is saying what he's saying? See, there's been people tapping into his ear. See, listening is an art. So I am seeing exactly what he's talking about when he's taking on now the Jewish media, who indeed took over the industry. All right? Though black people formed and made Def Jam what it is, Rick Rubin is the one who making all the money. Okay? And all these other artists. Now, I'm gonna keep on. And then from the television, from our music, both R&B, come on. It's all about the money. I want the money. Money talks. Money talk. Yeah, listen, everything became more and more crass. You heard more and more sampling versus real music and musicians. And though he was over the top and racy, my second all-time male vocalist, the original Wild Child and Funk Doctor, Rick James. But say what you want. Cause see, There are people who are still one dimensional. Rick also, though, yeah, there was Super Freak, yeah, there was seven, okay, the very questionable 17. Yeah, I know. Give it to me, baby. I got you. But Rick also was about make love to me. Rick was all about fire and desire, you know, smoke that incredible duet with him and Smokey Robinson, Ebony Eyes. Okay, they killed it. The beauty and old of a woman, glow when he stopped getting high and talking about the beauty of his wife, glow. All that, don't forget that. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know. All right, when he made the song for Linda Blair, Cold Blooded. All right, yeah. I know. I'm trying to keep it right, but you can't front the beat. But apparently that white sugar she had him on all kinds of, high. If you don't know who Linda Blair is, former child actress, but in that time frame, she was no joke. I cannot front. But anyway, I digress. Let me keep it holy here. Y'all, my point is, those of us who lived through that period, now I'm giving you the understanding that this was not done in a vacuum. It was done deliberately. Deliberately. And now there are many, and today there are many former artists, those who are letting it be known. Yo, when we went in there, they were telling us if you make this music this way or you don't. Now, to bring it home, let's go into even our television programming. Again, the image of black men taking charge and doing what was right and or being a family man. How many of y'all who go back remember shows like The Sophisticated Gents? How about Clifton Davis, That's My Mama, and all these other black shows that showed black men being responsible. But then what happened? Slowly but surely, though we had good times and had a moral point, still James couldn't keep. Though James was a moral man, he did what was right. He didn't cheat on Florida with Walona. Okay, come on, y'all. Don't front. I know I'm not the only one that had thoughts on how that even. But let's not go there. Esther, bless her soul. I love Esther Roll. But anyway, he didn't cheat on Florida. Cheat on Florida with Walona. Okay. He was an astute father, but he couldn't keep a job. And then when he finally got the grand ultimate good job, what happens? He dies. Huh? He dies. And then we lose James Henry Evans. Slowly but surely, what happened? Not only on that show, other shows started getting rid of the black father. It's the black woman. You had Give Me a Break with the late Nell Carter. She was a black maid for a white family. Then you had Different Strokes. Arnold and Willis, their daddy left them. Their mama was the maid for Mr. Drummond. She dies, he adopts them. The good old white man come in there and adopt them. Slowly but surely. Sure, Bill Cosby came through with the Cosby Show, but that was wait. Matter of fact, I can remember what was being said when the Cosby Show was on. Oh, that's not realistic. That is not real how black families are. Uh, you know, he's a doctor, she's a lawyer. They wouldn't even have time to be home. They wouldn't be a loving support to their families. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But this is, I don't know about any, I was hearing that in certain social circles. I was being told that the Huxtables was not realistic. Huh? I okay, even okay, then you had yes, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And there was a situation comedy, yeah, Uncle Phil, James Avery, as portrayed by James Avery. He still had his manliness to him and all that. But then look at the insert, look at the infighting and the colorism on that. Here we had Aunt Viv, who was a beautiful, despite I know all the infighting, but that infighting with Will and all that, yo, and that's why Will, I'm not gonna front. That's why Will Smith is suffering the way he's suffering now. It's on how you do things. But here it is. We had a beautiful dark sister, Janet Hubert, the real Aunt Vivian. And I'm not taking anything from Daphne Maxwell Reid. I'm a fan of her husband, Tim Reid, you know, and I like Daphne too. But come on, y'all. That was utterly ridiculous. That here we had a beautiful chocolate sister, Janet Hubert, who was always fiery and dynamic, okay? Who, for some of y'all that don't know, when you ever go check out the movie School Days, she hardly, she was the one who choreographed that incredible face off between the dark skin and light skin. You know, that whole, you wanna be, you're just a jigaboo, you wanna be. She choreographed that whole routine. But Aunt Viv went from a beautiful dark skinned chocolate bunny. I shouldn't, let me rephrase that. I shouldn't say chocolate bunny. Beautiful dark skinned woman. I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away here. And next thing you know, she'd all light skin. Really? God dog, man. The disrespect, the colorism. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. See, you got to look at what was happening. This is all deliberate. Family Matters. Okay. It started off as a serious show, but it graduated and conflagrated into what? Coonery and buffoonery, shaped around the antics of Steve Urkel. Where it started off as a serious drama with serious fare, it went into comedy. I get, look, but who was taking over? Who was doing all that? And then more, and then as we progressed into the 2000s, the next thing you know, and even in the movies, you start seeing what? More and more effeminate black men. Every time you looked up, now all of a sudden, even with the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and all the other shows, look. I know we have gay family members. My sister's openly gay, and we have these conversations. But I'm talking about the imagery. More and more, all the black men that were powerful. Now? Those of you that came out that generation, the last two shows that we saw where you had black men that were powerful, they canceled them immediately. Who remembers when Avery Brooks did a spinoff from the show Spencer for Hire that starred the late Robert Urich, and you had the man called Hawk? Remember when that show single-handedly had ABC ratings through the roof, but there was no way in goddamn hell those white execs were gonna have some black man walking around checking and wrecking punks and issuing beatdowns. Well, they weren't gonna have that. And next thing you know, a man called Hawk got canceled immediately. Now I forget the actor's name, but who? But he's a, oh man, I should have wrote his name down. But anyway, does anyone remember the show Mantis? It was about a black bioscientist who was crippled. and he made this bioengineered suit, and he was a superhero, and he was checking and wrecking punks left, right, and center. What happened, y'all? In about 6 episodes or less, he dies. He's killed off immediately. Hell, back in what? Just a few short years ago on you had Luke Cage. Okay? Remember the show Luke Cage with Mahershala Ali and the other gentleman who played Luke Cage? As a matter of fact, Luke Cage, known as Power Man. And Luke Cage happens to be actor Nicolas Cage, all-time favorite superhero. And that's who Nicolas Cage co-opted his lap, because we know he's actually a Coppola. He's actually related to Francis Ford Coppola, but he wanted to make it on his own in Hollywood, so he dropped Nicholas Coppola and became Nicolas Cage, taking his name from his all-time favorite superhero, Luke Cage, Power Man. But anyway, remember back a few short years ago, you had that show coming on about a black man in Harlem, superhero, taking on all comers. What happened, y'all? Show got canceled immediately. Next thing you know, though, however, RuPaul Drag Race and everything else. Now, I know some of y'all might get a bristle, but every time you looked up, a black man in a dress, black man homoed out. Okay, I'm just gonna, that's the truth. That is not me being mean or disrespectful. I'm just calling it like it is because that was what was being pushed then and now. Now tell me you can't say I'm wrong. And that's not me being anti-gay, anti-homosexual, anti-LGBTQ. I am making a valid point. The infiltration and destruction of black culture. Now, what's another reason why Kanye West is getting blasted with the whole anti-Semitic? Well, for some of you that if you're curious and you want to go check it out, write this down. Liar, Lyor, Cohen, on The Breakfast Club, explaining why he promotes drug culture in rap music. Now, I like to get right to the point. Look for the timestamp of 1 minute, 29 seconds, but in that, when Charlemagne the God, and I got to give Charlemagne the God his just due. There are times when he drops the ball, but on this particular interview, he was on point. In that interview, when Charlemagne the God, well, come on, Mr. Cohen, how come you and all the other record execs have this thing about promoting, having drug culture and all these, and shooting and everything else and killing in the lyrics of those rappers and entertainers you sign? Mr. Cohen first comes with one answer about, well, I don't believe, yes, and as a matter of fact, Charlemagne then says, and look at the promotion of this whole opiate thing and drug culture that has every community turned upside down. Mr. Cohen answers and says, well, yes, that's a terrible thing, but I'm all about people being able to, be able to recover, and I don't give up on anyone. Everyone deserves a second chance. And so Charlemagne said, but what about the fact you have that going on in the culture? You have black artists requiring them to say all these things. And Mr. Cohen then answers and says, well, I have a family and people that I have to feed, people that I have to pay. And they all started laughing, but I wasn't laughing. So basically what he was saying, in the same breath about, well, it's a terrible thing, and in the drug culture and all, it's all horrible. But in the same breath, well, I have a business to run. I have families to feed. I have people to pay. So all these Jewish record executives, television producers, and so on and so, they have families to feed. And if they can do so with denigrating and destroying the black culture, to do so, and you out there in black culture land willing to let them. Because after all, BET, I'm going to use BET as a prime example. When Bob Johnson started BET way back in 1978. All right, here it is. BET, we're coming on strong for you. He gradually grew that BET into a powerful mark. But I can remember when BET had Tavis Smiley, Late Night with Ed Gordon. Um, they had black executive and producer Sheila Frazier. Now, some of you may not know who Sheila Frazier is, but she was a one-time actress, and one of her best-known roles, if you ever seen the movie Superfly, she was that beautiful chocolate. Okay, I'm about to say chocolate bunny again. Sorry, dark-skinned actress who played opposite Ron O'Neal, who was Priest. Her. She was the executive director of operations at BET and brought you Teen Summit and all the other magnificent shows that dealt, even Bobby Jones Gospel Hour. Okay? All those wonderful shows that dealt with creativity. When you had Donnie Simpson, Sherry Carter, you know, you had that was Video Soul, Midnight, then you had Midnight Soul, all those beautiful, tasteful music videos and everything else. Robert Johnson did a magnificent job with building BET. Now, but what happened? All of a sudden, Mr. Johnson had aspirations of wanting to be a billionaire, the first one, or whatever. There's been some sketchy details about that whole thing, but the bottom line is when Bill Cosby couldn't get NBC and went to appeal to Mr. Johnson, Bob Johnson told Bill Cosby, no, I don't want to sell it to you, but I'll sell it to Viacom, a British company that has had nothing but utter disdain for black people in the UK and right here in the States. And when Viacom took over BET, I ask you, did not the booty shaking, the rump shaking, and everything else quadruple? All of a sudden, Tavis Smiley got fired. Sheila Frazier got fired. Who else? Let me see. Let me see who else. Yes, Ed Gordon got fired. All the shows, talk shows got wiped out. Donnie Simpson, Sherry Carter. Oh, you guys are old. And in comes The Basement. Look at the name, The Basement. They know exactly what they were saying. And all the other hoochie coochie, pop that coochie videos non-stop, y'all. And now, how many I can when I go out here and see who talking, I know I'm gonna see a bunch of y'all saying, I don't even watch BET no more. It's disgusting what they show today. But what am I showing you? This was already in the making. Some of us weren't born and some of us were children when all these things, this conspiracy to do what they're doing. So when Kanye West was calling them on it, this is how deep it goes. This is what he has been discovering. See, like I said, everybody out here, no matter what you hear them say, every man, every woman, when they're faced with their soul, faced to look in the abyss, and they see what they see, then they recognize, I gotta make a change. This got to stop. So my point I'm raising, and this is what he was talking about. And this is what and why he was going in and why he's so vilified. But especially when he said, we're the real Jews. So how can I be anti-Shemitic? Everyone can change, man. Everyone can be pulled out of the coon mindset when they recognize ain't no amount of money worth your soul and you turn your back on your people. And what's a coon? Because also here in the Lions Den, we're anti-coon. That's C-O-O-N. We don't roll with the coon set. We're anti-coon here, unapologetically. And what's a coon? A complete, obvious, obedient, yes, a boss, nigga. We don't do that here. This is what not only before there was Kanye, it was Bill Cosby. There was now deceased musicians, Kashif, Prince, Michael Joseph Jackson, James Mtume, and a whole host of other voices that were ringing the alarm. And before them, there was Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, and so many other voices out there who some all of a sudden came down with a sudden case of death. Some who just went to sleep and woke up dead. A deep, deep game, y'all. So let me see who's talking. And welcome to the Lions Den. I'm Brother Malachi. Let me see who's talking. So since I couldn't get the videos up, I want y'all to write down these titles, but let me see who's talking. Shalom. I actually think that RuPaul is a woman. Okay, no, Hazel, he's actually a man. But oh, you mentioned Frankie Beverly and Mays. Yeah, the culture vultures came in. Yes, Hazel, exactly. The culture vultures did come in and take over. That's exactly what happened. That's right, Bobby Caldwell. You quoted Bobby Caldwell. What you want to do for love, huh? All right, I see. I see y'all paying attention. That's right. Okay. And now, as I move on, I'm glad you're enjoying this, Hazel. Now let me continue on. Now, I know some of y'all may not be hip hop heads, but I want y'all to write this title down as well. This gentleman was a recording artist from a group that was known as Bone Thug and Harmony. They were off the Ruthless Records, a subsidiary of Interscope Records, by the late rapper and producer Eric Eazy-E Wright. They were known as Bone Thugs and Harmony, but one of the artists out of Bone Thugs, I'm going to use his stage name. He was known as Crazy Bone. Now write this down. Crazy Bone. That's Krayzie, Crazy Bone, Bone. exposes private prisons that are linked to rap music. This episode can be found on YouTube as well, and it's at the 12. And I like to get to the heart of a thing. You just look for the segment that is 12 minutes and 29 seconds in length. Now, in that interview, this Crazy Bone reads a letter that he and other artists received from certain music executives and what they required if you were going to sign or be signed and given a contract and deal. Let's just say that when he reads his letter, when he discusses the issue of the requirement of the record executives at the time and even to now, where they're going to require you, if you want to deal, to promote criminality, shoot, kill, murder, your own gang. They're going to promote gang violence, promote colors, promote what it is to be a criminal, and it's okay, and going to jail. Now, this is not an attack on those who may have got caught up in that net. Like I said, or if you haven't heard me say it, I'm going to say it tonight. As I said, I don't sit up here as Mr. Holy and Thou, a super Israelite. Even in this knowledge, in my being supposedly resurrected, I got caught up in that hypnotic drug. Okay? I'm, as a spirit we once knew as Malcolm X, I was one of those extreme spirits that was caught up. Okay? No, and then at the time being aware of these things, but still, the flesh is a hell of a drug. And I was out there. So I'm not going to sit up here and try to attack anybody if they got caught. I got caught up. And I have no problem saying I was enjoying being evil. I was having a hard time until a divine intervention and reality hit me in the head, reminded me that's not where I'm supposed to be. But it's a true statement. The music is hypnotic. Don't you see how when it comes to all the negative lyrics have the hottest beats, and those who were trying to kick positivity got the whack beats? Just call them seriously in the process of time. Okay, even now, I cannot front. There's as much as even some of them are now regretting it, still, you cannot front. I cannot lie. I cannot tell a lie. Straight out of Compton, okay, MC Ren, if it ain't rough, it ain't me. He's a gangster in black. He's about to attack. Ren's the villain, and you're just a hostage. Okay, I will not lie. I cannot tell a lie. Okay, Tupac, back to get wrecked. Enough respect to those who break their neck. Okay, I won't lie. Yo, but then that's why you got to be careful today, you got to be careful what you listen to, what you watch, because as the Bible tells you, the devil is transformed into an angel of light and can catch you out there if you're not careful, because the beats are hypnotic. But when you listen to the lyrics, so that's why I'm putting this out here tonight. All this is not by accident, but by grand design. So when the artist from the Bone Thugs and Harmony was talking about rap music and it's linked to private prisons, That's a true statement. But let's take it back to when what we now know as the prison industrial complex began. Way back in 1986, when your president, old Triple Six himself, Ronald Wilson Reagan, was the president of the United States. There was a company. You can look it up today, but you won't find it. But that's why you have me. That's why in the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 8, the Lord always, he indicates, remember the days of old and consider the years of many generations. Ask your elders and they'll tell you. See, I'm glad to be 54 years of age. I'm glad to be an elder. Coming from a life where at one point I was looking down the barrel of a 380 sub, a semi-automatic handgun, about to die, trying to be rough, rugged, and raw, out here going up in clubs and parties, having a good time, or me and my crew, you want to fight? People who made a mistake, being swayed by my voice, and they had to find out the hard way. I was hypnotized by, hey, something that you can't understand. I could just kill a man. But it ain't funny games. Tale from the dark side. When one of your victims catches up to you and got you hemmed up, and you praying and hoping he don't pull the trigger. Yeah. See, divine intervention. You better stop playing games and get back on this side of the fence. You tough, but you ain't that tough. And there's always someone more tough and more vindictive. See, my point is, let me not digress. When Crazy Bones says that rap and prisons are linked together, look, it's the truth. I can recall when going to prison was a dreaded thing. For some, who got good sense, it's still dreaded, but no, still, there was a now look at the glorification. It almost became like it's a rite of passage for black men in particular to go to prison. Right or wrong? I was up north to my niggas up north. You hear it in the rap, okay? Or I was down on the loke. I'm loped up, choked up. Man, come on, man. Going to prison is not a good thing. But let me take you back to when the prison industrial complex and that would graduate and conflagrate into black music began. Way back in 1986, then President old Triple Six, we call him old Triple Six because there was 6 letters in his name, Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666, sat down with a company called Rencor. You can look at it today. You will never see any information on this company. Rencor Industrial. Rencor in 1986 made a proposition to the president, the House of Congress, and everyone else, the legislative board, and all that, in reference to the fact that since the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution legalizes slavery if you become a prisoner. Well, Rencor started devising an investment product. And to anyone who's interested, you can get on board. Let's make prisons. Since slavery was, according to former governor of Georgia, What's his name? Let me see. What's his name? Let me think. Yo, he made a comment way back in the 1800s that prison, no, not prisons, but slavery is the cornerstone of America and its culture. And yes, okay, his name Alexander Stevens. I'm getting better at committing things. Governor Alexander Stevens, former governor of Georgia, from in and around 1880 going to 1883. And he was also the former vice president of the Confederacy, y'all. Okay? He was a Democrat from, let's see, 1873, going into 1883, around the time when he would die. But anyway, he's on record as saying that slavery was the cornerstone of America and its economic boom. So getting back to Ronald Reagan and Rencourt in 1986, they would devise and come up with a prospective plan to make prisons a commodity. Put it on Wall Street, y'all. Now I work for a company, an investment company. Okay. And I saw one of these deals come into play. A $10 billion at the time, $10 billion prospective of different prisons opening up and selling to the highest bidder. Dead, dead, and gone, but you had Bob, former host of The Price is Right, Bob Barker, Dick, what's his name again? Dick, American Bandstand. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about, who go back that far. All right? Yes, Iron Man, that's right, along with democracy. Demonocracy, that's right. But let me move on. Prison now was being opened up and being bought. If you had the money, you could buy blocks of prisoners and they be your slaves and you'll make money off them. See, back in the 1970s and the 80s, to house and maintain a prisoner was $10,000 a head. But by the 1980s late 80s going to the 90s, you can make money hand over fist, each prisoner being worth, as it is today, $60,000 a head. Okay? So if you get if you get to purchase a block of 100 prisoners, do the math. Coupled with loaning them out to build highways, bridges, or put them to work scheduling airplane or bus travel. That's right. Oh, prison became extremely lucrative in the time in time. But it began way back in 1986. Ronald Wilson Reagan, not just the Republicans, that's right, my dear Iron Manor, the Democrats had their hands in it too. Because whether right wing, left wing, Kentucky Fried Chicken wing, the entire political structure of America is foul. And that's not FOWL, that's FOUL, but you get the idea. Foul. And then you had McDonald's, Burger King, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Victoria's Secret. You have who else? Sony. And so many other companies that are now big time owners and contributors into the whole prison market. And that's why all of a sudden, even in the music, now all of a sudden getting locked up was cool. Y'all remember Akon? I messed around and now I'm locked up. Huh? Even in certain R&B songs, it's so good that somebody love you and they love you back. And I love my mama because she got the bail money for me. That's right. So Crazy Bone is right. Because not on, but wait. Going in from 1986 into 1990. For those of us that go back and remember, does anyone remember how in 1990, okay, that all of a sudden, across the board, the 50 states of this country, that TAP, Pell, all the grants that will put you and have you go to school, there was a massive cutting of that budget. And in that same time frame of 1990, with TAP and Pell and all these other grants and loans or scholarships would have you be able to go to school without getting a loan were cut. And the next thing you know, that's to the tune of 1 billion. I'm going to say it was actually $945 million. But I'll just round it off to $1 billion. But then that same $1 billion that was supposed to be used to have us go to school, okay, was all of a sudden allocated in the construction throughout the 50 states, like here in the state of New York, where I'm at. I can attest to the fact that within 10 years from 1990 going into 2000, 17 new 750 cell double occupancy prisons were built in upstate New York. All of them in Republican states. So I don't know, wherever you are and where you're living in your state, do you recall all of a sudden the uptick in prison construction? If so, give me an indication. Because what I'm showing you all out there, right? And if you want to come on the panel and discuss this with me, you're more than welcome to come in and join. All right? And I'm going to go into an open discussion anyway. But what am I communicating and showing you all? This is what Kanye West is calling them on. All that is Jewish owned, Jewish controlled, and this is not anti-Semitism. If you take time out. Now, we can't do everything. We want you to do it for yourself so you can see we're not making this up. Type in Jewish owners of media, whether it be the record industry, in the area of distribution, in the area of television, okay? Go into the whole issue of prisons and who and what companies are invested in it that you support. Nike, Adidas, that's right. Because come on, prison is an ideal capitalist zone. There is no union. You can pay them pennies on the dollar because after all, slavery is now legal in the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. There are no coffee breaks. Okay? And you can work those prisoners from sun to sundown. How many of you out there in California recall and they probably still are doing it. How they were using prisoners, paying them $1 a day to get out there and fight fires that are burning out of control. Now, I forget the name of the company. And going forward, y'all, I promise you, from here on out, I'm trying to impress you all by being extemporaneous and being able to talk off the top of my head. But no, I must accept the fact that I'm now aging. My memory is not as sharp as it used to be. So I'm going to start writing this down. But you out there in Killer Cali, you can attest to the fact all those forest fires that are burning out of control, and they're using prisoners, saving the state $100 million plus, using prisoners to fight these fires, paying them $1 a day. I forget the name of the company that and the particular governors, the governor and those who are over that, but that's what's happening. But still, look at the lyrical content. Some say, oh, well, you're responsible for your own fate. That's right, Iron Man. They all manufacturing like a mofo. That's right. That's right, Hazel. That's right. Oh, what's see what I'm showing you all are the facts. That while we were kids, all right, these are the schemes, scams, cons, and hustles that were being put in place by gangsters. All right? Make no mistakes. We ain't just dealing with the Gambino, the Lucchese crime families. We dealing with some major league players in the game that are capitalizing and benefiting off of us, the real Jews, the children of Israel. Whether you believe it or not, that's your business. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's your business. What I'm going to do, however, along with my team here in the Lion's Den, is present these facts that you can check out unless you just want to be blind. So you can get with the truth or you can embrace lies. So what am I showing you all? That this is not something that just happened. This was a planned attack. And then along with feminism, homosexuality, combined with criminality, these are all the talk points that this government and other governments across the world have now used to upset and destroy. In particular, Black male and female relationships, because not only are our sons being sent to prison, our daughters are getting caught up in that as well. Look at some of the show. Look at all the shows being For My Man, and all these other ridiculous shows, so-called reality shows, showing Black women in horrible light. Come on now. You think this just happened? No. It was a conspiracy, no theory. And what is this conspiracy? And the word conspiracy defined is when a group of people sit down, plan, and carry out the intent to undermine and destroy a person or persons, an evil plan. None of this just happened in a vacuum. Everything is planned and laid out. See, why do you think that now the karmic energy that America has put out is now coming home to roost? You see, the Lord has not forgotten the evils this society has done. It still does. Okay? Where we're taught to forget, no. The Lord is not gonna forget. I'm not, and that's why we here in the lion's den. We aren't gonna forget. See, some may say, I know, well, it's the curse. Look at the curses. Look, first of all, I'm gonna make something clear to you. For those of us who are Bible believers and believe that we're the children of Israel and that there's a divine, that we're suffering a divine curse. Okay, that's one thing. But see, we keep forgetting in that Deuteronomy the 28th chapter that there are 15 verses that say if we do what's right and choose what's right, we'll be blessed. But we want to hold on to the 53 verses of curses and attribute, and we have become complacent. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, still there's this complacency among our people to accept all this as if it's normal. It's not normal. We're showing you that all these things were conspired. Let's not forget the fact when we're taught to forget, they're making spreads of their earnings. That's right. That's right. I am manna. That's facts. Yeah, I am manna. You ought to join me on this conversation, but because you dropping it as well. I see you. I'm glad to see that. If you don't want to join me, I'm glad to see you talking in the chat and we can converse. But now let me show you how deep this thing is, y'all. Because now there are a whole lot of people talking more and more about reparations. The way I look at it, look, I'm gonna be the negative. I'm gonna be the negative Nicholas here. This society doesn't intend on giving us a dime. And frankly speaking, and as I said with others on the panel, I quote from the late Brandon Lee, son of Bruce Lee, from the movie Rapid Fire, where one of the villains tells another villain who's trying to shake him down, look, don't come asking for what you ain't willing to take. And so it is with reparations. Look, if we're not willing to take it, stop asking for it. Because America has shown time and time again, it don't care what we say or do, what we sing and dance. See, I'm going to say this here. Unlike other nations on the planet, see, we don't have a military. That's what the problem is. In the long and short of it all. See, it ain't like the Lord said we couldn't defend ourselves. We're told how to handle affairs, but we still want to be singing and dancing, shucking and jiving and begging. But I'm going to remind you, that's why you're seeing now as I put everything together, this is why you think they're moving so hard against what is called critical race theory. See, for me, I like to make things plain. And here in the Lions Den, we all do. We make things plain. What is critical race theory in reality? Uh-oh. I'm going to have to change. Stand by. But let me say this to you. Critical race theory is basically saying we white folks don't want you black folks knowing the truth about everything we've done to you in this country. We don't want our children in particular to know that their white privilege is based upon, indeed, the criminal acts of our fathers and our mothers. We don't want them knowing that. That's what they're basically saying. That's why they don't want critical race theory in the schools. The truth. See, that's the number one thing now that has become the enemy. And anybody who teaches the truth and tell the truth now is marked as an enemy. Okay? And now they're being all voices of truth. They're looking to wipe out all voices of truth. That's the primary reason why they've been blocking anybody who's black, who has money, and tries to get their own independent radio station, television station, because he or that she that controls communications controls the narrative of what people ought to think. So that's the real reason why critical race theory and all these other aspects of truth, they're looking to shut it down at all costs. Even within this whole structure of the bodies of various beliefs, there is, to this day, FBI and CIA operatives. Karima, could you drop the link so I can come in through my other phone? There it goes.